Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Adrian Reddix, and I want to try something a little different today. I know I was looking in my past videos, and it seems like I am a cheapskate curmudgeon, and I don't want to come off as that. I do spend money, I just always want a good deal. So I want to talk to you today about a site that I go to very frequently for good deals on video games, and it's called Fanatical.com. Fanatical.com is a website that has a myriad of games, and usually you can get a pretty good deal. And one of the deals I like to get is every so often they have a mystery bundle. It's usually a bundle that's around $6.99, which this bundle is, and you get 10 random games. In the past, they had mystery bundles where it was 10 random games and a guaranteed AAA title. The AAA title could have been from 2014 or 2009 or whatever, and you didn't know what you were going to get. I like the excitement of getting 10 random things, trying it out, see what I liked, see what I didn't like. And also today, I think is going to be our first two-parter because there's 10 games in this bundle. And what I want to do is, go through the process of Steam, which that's what you have to activate these on, and give you a first impressions of the games that I get. I also didn't do any, when I found out what the game was, I just downloaded the game and didn't look at any instructions and see if it was intuitive, if I had to read any special instructions, or could I figure it out on my own. So this is my first impressions of the first 5 games. Part 2 will come in the next video. So let's just go through the process of from beginning to end. So this bundle from Fanatical is a $6.99 bundle. With these games, hopefully we're going to count up and see how much these games would cost regular price, and if we really are getting a deal, or is it just $6.99 for 10 games at 37 cents a piece. So once you go through and you purchase the bundle, you have to activate these codes on a Steam account. If you don't have a Steam account, it's really easy to do. Steam is just a platform for developers to sell games, and it's like a game library repository for your games that you buy. So once you do that, you have to activate these games on Steam to play them. After I did that, and I went to the list, the first game that popped out was a game called Space Pilgrim Episode 2 Epsilon Indie. I've never heard of this franchise before. So I went in, and immediately when I got into the game, I knew what kind of game it was. It was made using an engine called RPG Maker. And what RPG Maker is, it takes this game engine, and what a game engine is, just like, let's say if you have Toyota. Toyota has different models of cars. Let's say they had 5 models of car. And each car has an engine, of course, but Toyota isn't going to make a specific engine for each model of car they have. They may have these two over here have one type of engine. These two have another type of engine and another one. So the engine in a game makes the game run. It's the backbone of the game. So RPG Maker is one of those engines that makes a game run that's easy to use. And a lot of games have this same look or the same feel about it, because RPG Maker makes it easy enough for people to develop their own games. It does cost some money, as far as you'll pay anywhere between $20 all the way up to $30, $40 for different packs to add different features and functions to the game. They do have some free, I'm always about free. They have some free game development. So if you have somebody who's in the game development, or if you're in the game development, things like open source RPG Maker, Godot, or Solaris. These are these open source things that are kind of similar. They're 2D RPG makers. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I knew what this was as soon as I clicked on the reveal button. The thing about these RPG Maker games is because they look so similar, if you don't catch me in the first couple minutes of the story and get me engaged, I have a hard time with playing the game or trying to enjoy the game. On Steam, this game got a 9 out of 10 review. I'm thinking because I didn't play the first one, maybe I'm lost somewhere in the story. And again, I didn't play the game more than maybe 15, 20 minutes, just trying to get a feel for it. This is just a first impression. It seems like if I understood the story and really got into it, it seems like a very linear story, so things happen. It's not like you're on a planet and you can go left or right. If you go left, it's a whole different story. If you go right, it's a whole different story. As far as playability, it seems like the playability from my first impression, it's not a game that you can play over and over again and have a different experience each time. This game itself, so we're trying to see if we got a good value. So this game clocks in at $1.99 on Steam. So out of $6.99, that's $5 left to see if we're going to get our value from this bundle. So the second game is a game called Shooting Stars. And Shooting Stars reminded me of a game called Hyper Princess Peach, which is a play on the Mario character Princess Peach. It was a game that was a Christmas themed game where it's a shooter. And what this game is a shooter. It looks like a mix between Smash TV and Galaga. I know if you're an old gaming person, I'll put video up of Smash TV and Galaga. So what you are is this hipster dude, and you're on a hoverboard, and you have a white fluffy cat that shoots lasers out of its face. You heard it. Hipster on a hoverboard with a laser face cat, or laser shooting face, a face shooting laser. It's a cat that shoots lasers out of his face. So what you do is you have enemies coming in, shooting balls of lasers at you. You have to dodge them and destroy them. And the boss at the end of the round is some type of celebrity, hence the name Shooting Stars. It's a caricature of the celebrity. Instead of Kanye West, it's Kanye East, or a myriad of other, I think they had one based on Shia LaBeouf. And each one of these characters have a different pattern that they shoot their lasers out at that you have to deal with while trying to destroy them too. And along the way you get these power-ups, and these power-ups have your cat do different things as far as shooting different types of lasers, or you have some guys next to you shooting out lasers. It's to me, it's a fun game. On Steam, it's rated 6 out of 10, but I like it. It's not a game that you're going to be able to, from my first thoughts and me playing it, it's not a game that has a lot of depth. It's a game that I can see it getting old quick, but from what it is, if you don't look too deep into it trying to get some deeper meaning, it's a comedy. It makes fun of itself. It's a classic shooter. I like it. The cost of Shooting Stars on Steam as of April 2020 is 49 cents. Okay, the third game is a game called Inferno Climber. Inferno Climber is the best way I can describe it. If you know the game Dark Souls or Bloodborne, it seems like it's trying to be something like that, like a action / RPG game. And it's an indie game, but the execution of it, it's not good. They do give you a fair warning in the beginning that, hey, this game is best on a gamepad, but I'm like, whatever. I mean, any game that's you could play on a gamepad, you could play with a mouse and a keyboard too. I'll be happy to let you know that that's not true. It definitely needs a gamepad. The controls themselves when you're on the keyboard and the mouse are clunky at best. So when you go over to the gamepad, it's the mechanics of the game. It's the camera. If it's too sensitive, and you'll be motion sick and dizzy, you not know where you're going. And the character itself that you're playing, it walks. It doesn't run. It doesn't gallop. It's just the same walk and just cluck, 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 cluck. The game is confusing. You don't really know where to go. There's not a lot of helpful signs. The game starts off with you facing this dragon and it kills you, and you go to the netherworld. And to defeat the dragon, you have to find these things called purgatory stones. And it's not a well thought out game from my first impression. Would I ever, from what I've played, it's just clunky mechanics. The trailer looks like it could be cool, but my first 30, 40 minutes playing, it's just not. The range of attacks are not there. The weapons aren't there. Let's go to the page and let me read you the paragraph that it has for this. The paragraph says, "Forged through heck." Heck isn't the word that they use. In this survival action RPG, defeat powerful bosses to collect all 5 purgatory stones in heck. Slashing, magic casting, arrow shooting, bombs throwing, exploring, eating, cooking, and blacksmithing. Wow, the exciting world of blacksmithing. This game is not a good game. Maybe I'll play it more, maybe it'll grow on me, but I highly doubt it. And this game, the cost is $14.99, so there we go right there. $6.99. We're in value range now. $6.99. I mean $14.99, excuse me. $14.99. We're in value range now. The next game is Guilty Gear Isuka. Guilty Gear Isuka is a 2D fighting game like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter meets Soul Calibur, because they have weapons. When I opened the game, it had an intro that was unskippable, and you had to watch all of it. So if I had to watch all of it, you're gonna watch all of it. I'll be over here at the bottom of the screen while you watch this opening. It's very you'll see. I'll wait. So how was that? It was very different. So with Guilty Gear Isuka, of course, it's a part of a series too. I don't know. The game itself, it doesn't tell you that it needs a gamepad, but it needs a gamepad. Because on the keyboard and mouse, again, I didn't look at any of the instructions as far as, what key did what. I wanted to see how intuitive the gameplay was on these games. And it wasn't intuitive at all. The typical controls that I would use didn't work. The whole time my player was facing one direction. I could never find out how to flip them. Whenever I put my gamepad on, I have the Steam controller, which they don't sell anymore because they had a fire sale in December. And I got one for like $5. It's a pretty good gamepad, especially for the price, but that's neither here nor there. I got the controller and it was an easier playthrough, but I was still facing the same direction. I pressed some key combination, magically I flipped the other direction. I was like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. Then when the enemy jumped behind me, I couldn't flip it. So I was kind of just backing up and fighting. From what I've played, it's an okay game. It's not something I would see myself coming back to anytime soon. Maybe with a second player, maybe it's a better game. Guilty Gear, Isuka, it's okay for my first impression. The fifth one is my favorite of the 5 that we're talking about today. It's Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack. This game is a sci-fi platformer. You know, a platformer is like Mario where it just side scrolls. It's a side scrolling puzzle, sci-fi, it's everything. So you start off with this blob that escapes from a lab, and you have to eat different items to grow big enough to first unplug a stopper. You eat everything, unplug the stopper. And you go through these mazes and jump off things and you eat things on the way and you avoid. It's a very fun game. I had a blast playing it. To me, and then it turns. It's a real fun game. I like it a whole bunch. If you guys want me to do a review on any of these games, this would be the first one I would do a full review on because it's that good of a game. You go to these caverns and I'll put some gameplay up here. You're at a university. You get at the end of the level, you get to eat people. That's fun, maybe. It's a fun game. I love it a whole lot. I would recommend it. And on Steam, it has a 9 out of 10. To me, it deserves a 10 out of 10. And that game clocks in at $9.99. And so did the Guilty Gear Isuka. That was also a $9.99 game. If we add all this up, let's go with $1.99 plus 49 cents plus $14.99 plus $9.99 plus another $9.99. And we get $37.40. Let's put that in. $37.45. $37.45 for a game, for a bundle we only pay $6.99 for. Seems to be a great deal. And we still have 5 more games to go. So this concludes part 1. Look for part 2 to come out pretty soon. I thank you guys for joining me. If you like this video, if you want me to do a full review on any of these games, just comment below. Like it, subscribe to the channel if you like this content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.